Hello, everyone, and a big warm welcome to today's webinar called Business Growth Through Mentoring. And we've got a very special guest with us here today, who's Jonathan Pfahl, who's the MD of Rockstar Group. Hello, Jonathan, welcome with us.
Thank you, Alma. Good to be here.
Excellent. And I just wanted to say, first of all, it's good to see we've got so many Rockstar Mentoring Live members on board. Very well welcome to all of you. And we also have quite a few new people on board as well. So hello to you, everyone. And I'm sure you're going to find a lot of value in this webinar. What I wanted to do, I'm going to hand it over to Jonathan real soon, but I just wanted to give you a very quick intro. Jonathan started the Rockstar Group in 2007. And what the reason why he did set it up is, first of all, he had a great mentoring experience from his old days in Goldman Sachs when he worked very closely with a mentor. And also, he had a lot of success in the property market as well, where he worked very closely with a mentor here in the UK to build up quite a substantial portfolio of property. So, as a result of that, mentoring really was a theme throughout the success of what he's achieved. And he then realized a big gap in the marketplace here in the UK for business owners to get real good quality advice from business mentors. So, as a result, what he's done, of course, he worked with another mentor to help him set up Rockstar Group as well. And this is now 6 years on, and the company's been well established, has achieved a lot of success. So Jonathan really believes that mentoring is the key to any business owner's success in business, and it just really helps you fast track and accelerate your success and results. So I'm going to stop talking and hand it over to Jonathan because he does have a lot to get through too. So Jonathan, over to you, and we are looking forward to listen to what you've got to share with us today.
Well, thank you very much, Alma, and thank you everyone for taking the time to listen to the webinar as well too. And it was quite interesting listening to Alma, talk about my history and how it all started because, it's been quite a while since I've heard that story from someone else, and it's amazing how the years have flown by. But I guess the real theme about Rockstar and the real core message of what Rockstar wants to be offering people is, when I first came up with the idea, I went out and I researched the market. Today I want to be giving you some real insights as to what I've learned in business and how you can be successful as well, no matter what sector and field that you're in. And the first place it really starts is within research, right? You have to know who your customers are. You have to have a real feel and understanding as to what your perfect customer looks like. And for me, I was asking a simple question when I was out there doing the initial research was, do you believe in the following statement? This was my question to people. Do you believe in the following statement? If you're going to be successful in business, the fastest way to achieve that success is to find someone who has already done what you are looking to achieve and get them to show you how to do it one-on-one. And the answer to that every time I asked that question was yes, absolutely right. And the question I would then ask after that is, do you feel there was a faster way in achieving success? And 95% of the answers back was no, there wasn't. So before I'd spent a penny on starting Rockstar, I knew that I had a market for what we were looking to do. And it was very, very simple. There was a large population of entrepreneurs in the UK who believe that the fastest way to be successful in business is to find someone who's achieved what you want to do and get them to show you how to do it. They agreed that that is the fastest way to get it done. And then I had 85% of them say that yes, they would invest money into that process if they made sure and they were certain that the mentor was going to start adding value to their business. That didn't cost me any money. It cost me time. So that's the first thing I really want everyone to think about in business. If you want to save time and money in being successful, mentoring, yes, learn from someone who's already done it, but that's really what this webinar is about. Make sure, firstly, you know who your perfect customer is. So, Alma, next slide, please. Knowing who your perfect customer is. Now, one thing you'll know about me, if you haven't seen me speak before, is that I don't do death by PowerPoint. So I will try and keep these in order to make it easier for yourself. So everything in life, everything in business, you have to look at as a return on your investment. Now, your investment are two things, your time and your money, our two biggest, greatest assets that we as business people have. Everything that you invest in, every hour that you invest, every meeting that you attend, every train ticket you come into London or go out of London to get to do an event or do a webinar, ask yourself, for every marketing strategy that you're looking to invest money in, you need to be making sure that you can justify the return that you're expecting to make from that investment. The minimum rule of thumb is you have to be achieving at least a 100% gross return on any marketing strategy, any meeting, any webinar, any event or exhibition that you're looking to do. And the reason why is anything less than 100% gross return, if you're in professional services, that margin gets eaten up very quickly in the time that you're paying for yourself to be there, and also your other team members. There's time and cost involved when you have a team to get people over the line. So making sure that you're investing in the right strategies and your time and money to make a return is the key thing. One of the most valuable pieces of time that you'll spend before you spend money in marketing and trying to drive sales is, as I said, knowing who your perfect customer is, understanding where they hang out online and offline, what they look like, what they most likely will do for a job, what sector they specialize in. These are the very people who you want to start going out and speaking to firstly. Just to give you an example, and I'll give you a case study after this as well, but whenever we teach our young startups in Rockstar Youth or within the young entrepreneurs we have inside Rockstar Live, we always make sure that before they spend any money in building or developing their product, that they know firstly what they intend to sell, they understand who their perfect customer is, they then ask this question: where do they hang out, online and offline? Because if you can answer that, write it down, list all the places that your perfect customers most likely hang out. If they work in a specific sector, is there an offline group where people from that sector go to meet with, have seminars with in groups? That's a very, very worthwhile period of your time invested to be in the same room with 50 to 100 of your perfect customers. If they hang out online in certain LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, Twitter campaigns, they follow certain people on Twitter, that again is time well spent. What you want to be doing as an early stage business or as you're trying to grow is stop wasting time. You've got to make sure that you are only ever spending time in front of or on the phone with people who are most likely to buy from you, people who are most likely to be interested in your product and service. And if you're a startup, what you should do is, before you even have anything to sell to them, go out and ask them. Ask them the question: hello there, Mr. Jones. I'm an entrepreneur. I value and respect what you have achieved in your sector, in your business. I'd very much like to show you the business idea that I'm looking to put together, because I value your opinion inside this sector, and I'd love you to tell me how I can improve it, what you like about it. Breakfast is on me, coffees are on me, drinks are on me, something small in return, but start off by complimenting that individual and get them to meet with you. And don't do that once, do that with at least 10, 15 of your perfect customers. Go out and gauge what their thoughts are on this business that you are looking to put together. The reason why you're doing that is you're starting a relationship with these people in a non-salesy, non-pushy way, which is very, very important in business, especially where today is with technology and where the world has taken us in terms of competition. No one likes the pushy salesperson anymore. You need to build trust. You need to build relationships with people. Us putting on this webinar for you right now, completely free of charge, is one way that we like to build value and build a relationship with yourselves. We want to be working closely with you to achieve your business goals going forward. So you're doing that because you're building a relationship with them. That's number one. But the most important thing that you're doing is you are generating and working out what your USP is going to be in that product or service that you intend to sell. It's one of the biggest mistakes that small businesses make. They don't assess and prove to themselves first that they've genuinely created a unique product or service that people want to buy. Let me tell you, 6 years ago, if I walked around and asked those 300 people, do you believe the concept of mentoring to fast track your business and would you pay for it? If everyone turned around and said, no, not really, and no, I'd never pay for it, there's every chance I wouldn't have started this business. There's no way I would have started the business in the capacity that I did if that was the response. Prove to yourself you've got customers. Go out, speak to them first. But when you're in front of them, you ask them this question: what is it about this sector that you've seen already in the market that you would want to see additional to it that would make your life easier? As a customer, whether you're a business or you're an individual person, ask them what doesn't exist in the market yet that you would like to see added to the product or service that you are looking to put together. The biggest mistake that people make is they either don't do any research or they assume they've got something that is unique enough for the customer, and that is what kills them. The money's spent up front, the marketing strategies are wasted up front, and one goes out there without any leads, any opportunities, any relationships, goes out, struggles with sales because they haven't created a USP, and the business doesn't survive. And there are too many examples that you see day in, day out, where people make the same mistake over and over again. So it's very, very important that you get that right. So when you're in front of people, make sure that you are asking those key questions and build a rapport for them at the same time. Looking at other strategies is, once you've got them, right, once you know you've created something unique, you've created a product, you've created a service that you know people are interested in, people want, now it's about looking at other cost-effective ways that you can utilize the internet, online partnerships, offline partnerships to increase the volume of those perfect customers. And I've just included here a few examples of ideas that you may want to think about. So the first thing is, I've never been a big fan of just general networking events. You know, the events I'm talking about where you go there, you're by yourself, you've got a room full of people that you've never met before, you exchange 50 business cards in an evening, you think it's gone well, you do the follow-up emails and meetings afterwards, and you realize after all that time spent and that money for the ticket and travel wasted, is that you don't get any sales from it. And the reason why is because when people go to general business networking events, no one is there to buy. Everyone is there to sell. And I can't tell you how much time I wasted when I first started Rockstar. And the reason I did it is because I felt I had to, because I wasn't from the UK, I didn't have many contacts over here. But at the end of the day, that actually was not the right decision to do. What I should have been doing from day one is what we do a lot now, are our own events. When you do your own events, you get to choose who you want to come. You get to choose who you invite. You get to choose what the theme is going to be, what's going to attract people to it. You can ask people within your community what they want to hear, what they want to be using in order to gauge traction. And it's not expensive. There are so many different venues and areas and strategies that you can use. For example, we use serviced office companies. We leverage off serviced office companies who are always keen to give us a room to have new businesses come into there, because it gives them the opportunity to promote themselves. If they've got the space and they're promoting space, you should use them, because they always do have a lot of space that they wish to use. And the other thing is that if you're an early stage business, if you put 50, 60 people into an event purely around your branding, that adds a lot of credibility to your brand very, very cost effectively. So that works very well. Partnerships with large companies. So one question I want you to ask yourself is there a multi-million or multi-billion pound brand that already has hundreds or thousands even of my perfect customer, but they don't offer what I offer? And that's something I really want you to think about, because even though this is not something that happens day in, day out, when you get it and it does work for you, it's one of the most profitable strategies that you will do. This is when you are finding organizations who already offer a service to the exact type of person or customer that you're looking to engage with, but they don't offer your product or service. And big organizations are always looking for new, unique ways to add more to their customers, add unique selling points on top of their competition. So who could you be thinking about here? You could be thinking of some of the major banks, the insurance companies, the accountancy firms, the serviced office companies, for example. If you are selling to other business people, which a lot of you are, because I know 80% of us sell a service to other business people, ask yourself, who are the big brands that deal with millions or hundreds of thousands of those types of business peoples, and can you gauge with them to build a relationship with them and see if you can work a partnership there as well too. And I'll show you a couple of case studies after this. I mean, this really, guys, just so you know, is my one slide of content. Then I'm going to be showing a whole different range of case studies after this to show you how it can really work for other businesses, how we've helped other companies do this. So let me just finish this off quickly. Groupon and Huddle Buy. So again, these are companies that are offering discounted offers to a number of business people. If it works for you, if you have the ability to offer your service at a discount, a significant discount, but can still generate profit from the volume that you get, then it works, and it can work very, very well for you. The LinkedIn breakfast strategy, I'll speak about that in my next case study, because that is how you can tie in your partnerships with large companies and building relationships with people. And then finally, celebrity endorsements is another way that you should think about fast tracking your brand and your success, and I'll show you some case studies of that too. So Alma, could we do the next slide, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Yep, thank you so much. So LinkedIn, obviously everyone who's watching this is on LinkedIn. That's an assumption, I'm sure. I know if you're not on LinkedIn, then you should really consider getting on it, because every one of you who sell to other businesses, 95% of your perfect customers have profiles like Irina here, looking back at you and give you the exact opportunity to send a message with, connect with, and start building an online relationship with. One thing you'll know about me is that or if you don't know me yet, that you'll learn about me is I'm still very traditional in my way of running business or dealing with new customers. I've always believed that people buy from people. And the great thing about LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and all these social platforms is that it's a great fast track way to make an impression or get directly in front of the people who you inevitably want to be sitting opposite face to face. So Irina is a great example of that. She's one of our young mentees, 24 years old, has a great business that she's just launched a few months ago called Club Cardio. Now, Club Cardio is a business where she goes up to nightclub owners or big nightclubs, and she says to them, may I please have your nightclub between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. on a Monday and Wednesday night, when otherwise between 6 and 10 that club is closed. And what she does, she goes to the club and she says that she will pay for the service of the people behind the bar, the service of the DJ and the person who's going to run the lights for them, and she covers their cost. But what she gets is a very large venue free of charge, because what she does is she then invites 300 young people in two groups of 150 who each pay her £10 to come and do an aerobics class on the dance floor of a nightclub in the early evening. The class goes for an hour. Once they've done their class, they then have a drink at the bar, which they obviously pay for. So the bar has 300 people buying drinks at the bar, which is profit for them they would otherwise never have made because the property was closed at the time. It's a great business. It's a high margin volume company. It's something that continues to grow and build. But for it to be successful, when she came to us and asked us, how do I increase and expand the number of clubs I can get access to? Well, her mentor sat her down and asked her this: who own more nightclubs than anyone else in the UK? Who is the biggest nightclub owner? Let's start right at the top. Now, she didn't know the answer to this, but she went on to Google and asked the question, who owns more nightclubs in the UK than anyone else? And the company is called Luminar. Luminar Group owns more nightclubs in the UK than anyone else. So then she went to Google and she asked this: who is the CEO of Luminar Group? And the gentleman's name is Peter Marks. And I promise you, try this now if you can. Get on LinkedIn and search CEO Peter Marks Luminar Group, and you'll see him smiling straight back at you, just like we did with Irina. Irina then contacted him and said the following: dear Mr. Marks, I want to connect with you because I think you run the best nightclubs in the UK. I really enjoy going to them, and I'd love to take you for breakfast to discuss an opportunity that's going to generate you more revenue at times when you aren't even open. I look forward to hearing from you. So what that was is old school flattery. She started that message with a compliment. She then put something into his mind that would obviously be interest to him. And she sent something nice to say, would you like to listen to this over a nice breakfast somewhere near your office? 15 minutes later, she had a response back. They were in front of each other within a week. and they signed a exclusive agreement to offer club cardio to some of the nightclubs in Luminar Group as a testing pilot, which has taken off and been very, very successful for both parties, and both parties are happy. So forget the general networking events. If you want to know how to get direct access to your perfect customers, build the list first of customers, find out who these people are, and you have a 95% chance that you'll see these people on LinkedIn. Okay, so it works, and it's a great way to gauge cost-effective sales for your business. Next slide, please. Okay, now this is one about celebrity endorsements, and it's very much linked to Twitter. I'm sure a lot of you are trying to use social media here. You're trying to, send out blogs and tweets about what you do to try and gauge sales, talk about what events or promotions that you want to be getting out on Twitter. And maybe some of you are successful with it, maybe some of you aren't. I can tell you that before we started adopting a celebrity strategy, we weren't very successful on Twitter. And what I tell people to think about is why and what happened with Twitter. Before it took off, Twitter had been around for 4 years, and then one thing happened which completely changed the nature of Twitter, and that was that celebrities started to use it. People who do have genuinely millions of fans who are interested in them, they saw it as a fantastic opportunity to be able to find out what their customers are thinking, to ask them a question about what they're doing, and get immediate feedback straight away. Very, very powerful. Twitter was not set up to get small businesses to go out and find blogs that other people have written and send them out to their followers, because at the end of the day, who reads them? If you follow people on Twitter and they've sent you 5 blogs today that they haven't even written themselves, how often are you opening those blogs and reading them? Where the real traction is and where the real followers are within the celebrity culture. Now that photo there is obviously James Caan from Dragon's Den. Last time I looked, he had over 1.5 million followers. He is a very strong supporter and advocate of our young entrepreneurial business, Rockstar Youth. We worked together in delivering startup capital by way of a loan and mentoring with them. Now, when he gets on Twitter and says, look forward to speaking at the Rockstar Youth Incubator this weekend, make sure you book by going to rockstaryouth.co.uk to meet me and hear my story. Surprise, surprise, if he sends 5 of those tweets out, there are 500 spots gone. We do other celebrities as well. We find out this, which celebrities would have millions of your perfect customer who listen and are interested in what they say. Last night I was mentoring one of our clients who's in a law firm, right? A decent sized growing law firm. And this strategy works for him as well. The question I asked him was, what sector do you guys focus on? Within your legal teams, what sectors do you tend to do very well? And they said food and beverage is a big one for us. And it turns out that one of their key customers is the gentleman who started the dessert brand Goo, James Vander, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, apologies, James. I do love your desserts, though. He is a client of theirs, but he has got a few 100,000 followers and is a big name within other business people who are interested in the food and beverage sector. So I said to him, as a traditional law firm who are trying to be different in what they do, I said, what if you were to ask your client if he would be the speaker at an event that you host, you target other food and beverage people, look how many followers he's got on Twitter, okay, X 100,000, get him to tweet it out 5, 10 times leading up to the event, and you will ensure that you have over 100 people at that event who are from specifically that sector. You see, our strategy and what we encourage other clients to do within Rockstar, people who join the Rockstar Live platform, is you want to big up your brand as fast as you can. You want to gauge traction with the world, with customers, as fast as you can. And one of the best ways to do so is to ask celebrities who would value and respect you for the question, who value the brand that you're trying to get out there, and you ask them if they would endorse you by coming to an event and or tweeting about it to their millions of followers. So obviously some of them might say no, some of them might say yes, we can do it, but this is the charge. Everything is negotiable in life, and let me tell you from experience, it works. It really, really does work. So as a new way, it's a cost-effective way that you can expand it. Please don't underestimate the celebrity culture that we are now in. And goodness gracious, if you think it's bad in the UK, spend some time in America. It's insane there. But this is the case study I just gave was a law firm, a traditional law firm. They're not going to get John Bon Jovi or Aerosmith to be their ambassador. But if they're targeting the food and beverage market, then someone who started a multi-million-pound brand only a few years ago and sold it recently for 20 million, that adds credibility to what they're doing. So keep that in mind as a cost-effective strategy to move your brand faster. Next slide, please. Okay, so another example about how you can leverage off Twitter. So FaZe is one of our clients. This is someone who worked with Roddy Campbell, who's one of the mentors for Rockstar. When we were approached by Chris and Sam, who are the husband and wife who started this company, to ask if we could help them with mentoring, she was very, very straightforward. She said, do you have any mentors who are in the sports retail sector? And I remember saying to her, yes, we've got one. He's the ex-CEO of Adidas International. His name is Roddy Campbell. I think he's worth having a session with for £197. And she agreed. As a result of that meeting, they built a long-lasting relationship, and Roddy helped launch this brand, FaZe, which is a high-end ski wear company. Now, if you go to the next slide, Alma, let me explain where I'm going here with this. This is FaZe's Twitter page. Now, she's in the early stages of building this following up, but if you look down the bottom on the last tweet that she has there, FaZe rider Andy Longley on Eurosport yesterday competing in the World Championships in Utah. Now, that was a case of giving Andy some free jackets, but building a relationship with him. And as he's being watched by millions of people on TV doing his videos in the World Championships or winning the World Championships, what outfit is he wearing? He's wearing FaZe. Now, again, it's just another practical example of how you can leverage off these media feeds and our support to get you thinking outside the box, get you expanding your brand. Please don't ever underestimate the power of contacts. It's the old saying, as I said, I'm a little bit traditional, but you know the saying of it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that fact that the mentors that we've been very fortunate enough to secure over the years are all entrepreneurs who have started, built, sold their own companies for an average of 18 million quid. Don't underestimate their black books, okay? If you are looking for contacts and support, these guys do know a lot of serious people, so keep that in mind. So this is just an example of how we've helped an existing mentee start to build up their sales. And she generated sales off the back of that promotion. Get a world champion who people emulate and want to be like wearing your gear, you're naturally going to generate sales off the back of it, and it costs them next to nothing. Next slide, please, Alma. And we're coming to the end of this, guys. Starting local, becoming international. This is another case study of ours of someone who did think outside the box, and I can't tell you how important that is. If you want to grow your business quickly, you need to create a USP that people want. But do the research first. Don't bog yourself down in money and time if you don't yet know that you've got something that people want. Erin Boyd's another great example of this. Her business idea was the following. She set up a website called She and Blur, which is a website for dog-friendly hotels in the 5-star sector. And she came up with the idea because she has a dog called Blue, there he is in the photo, and she likes to travel 5-star. But every time she tries to book her hotel or her holiday and compare the dog facilities and the friendliness of the facilities for dogs, these websites do not show anywhere whether or not they're dog friendly or not. Some of them are, some of them aren't. It's a big issue. So she went out to a number of dog groups, dog walking associations, dog owners, and she asked them the question. And they said, yes, we suffer from this problem as well. Yes, this is something that we would absolutely use. Yes, this is something that if you've got it up and running, we can't wait to see it and use it. You know how much confidence that gives you as an entrepreneur to start with that sort of confidence and knowing that once you're up and running, you've got people who want to buy it. Don't ever underestimate that, please. It's so, so important for you. So in a nutshell, that's exactly what she did. She went out, she worked her backside off with her mentor, Sterling Murray. So Rockstar mentor Sterling Murray built up and sold a large business within the beauty industry, but his biggest client was the five-star hotels. So he had good contacts and knew a lot of the five-star hotel owners, helped Erin with the introductions, and within a short period of time, she had secured 3 contracts with large five-star chains and was featured on BBC Breakfast about her new unique business idea, Chien Bleu. It started locally in the UK. All of a sudden, hotels started seeing that they were being booked through this dog-friendly hotel called Chien Bleu. All of a sudden, hotels, not just from the UK, but from other parts of the world, started seeing that their competitors were being booked through a website that they weren't part of. So they then started calling Erin directly and started asking her, we've seen your website, we want to be part of your website as well, and we will of course pay you as you have bookings come through via our hotel through your site. So when you start with something unique and you give yourself time and the proof to research what you want to do, it is amazing how fast you will start to see it come. And when you're building a business online, the world is your marketplace, which makes it really exciting. But it was really Sterling that made her understand that as a mentor, she was in a completely different industry, Erin. She wasn't working in hotels. She never had been within an online business. She didn't know this sector. So that's why she came to us, because she knew she had a great idea, but she wanted to make sure it's a success. And 3 years on, it's still going very strongly, which is great. Next slide, please. So really, guys, as I've just said, this topic tonight was about business growth through mentoring. So the key focus, I guess, from me was I was the mentor tonight. I was telling you my experiences, what we've done with other mentees for you to listen to. I'm a big believer that telling stories is one of the best ways that people remember key things about what we're learning. But in one slide, this really is what I've just basically put together. Know who your perfect customer is first. Ask yourself where they hang out online and offline. Make sure you then focus your marketing attention and your time only in those areas. Don't be a bust fool. That should actually read busy fool, so apologies for that. But bust almost has the same thing, because that's where people end up, is bust. The reality is this, is being a busy fool. Busy fools, and admit it to yourself if you can, because the moment you admit it to yourself, you start to change. Because a busy fool, I've been there. A busy fool is when you work more hours in a day than you've ever worked in your life. You're entrepreneurs, you're determined, you want to make it work, you want your business to be successful, but after even working 18 hours a day, you still are not making any money. That is because you are being a busy fool. It is because you are not spending those 18 hours, or better still, spend those 12 hours only ever in front of those people who are your perfect customer, who are most likely to buy from you. What you want to do as well is, rather than you go out to them, always ask yourself, what strategies and ways can I use in order for them to come to me? Because if they're coming to you, you're already halfway there with the sale. But if it's a new business, you leverage off them to generate a real unique selling product, or a USP, a unique selling product, process, whatever you want to call it. Ask them, get them to tell you what they would like to see in your new service that you're about to put together. Don't ever assume because it's different, the market wants it. Ask them. And then the key thing is, whilst you're generating the sales, maintaining margins through not blowing money on silly marketing strategies that don't work, and creating a unique product that allows you, if people are buying for it, they can pay a premium as well too. I mean, I could do a whole webinar on margins and making sure that you're generating the right sort of profit levels, but we can do that next time. So next slide, please, Emma. So I just want to finish off, guys, by thanking you all so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can tell, it's not death by PowerPoint when you hear from me. I'm sure some of the other mentors, when they do the weekly webinars, when you join Rockstar Live, are a lot more polished than me, Alma. Would that be? The thing is, you know, there are different levels within Rockstar Live. If you like these webinars and you like to listen to, you know, mentors or me as the MD share insights and advice on a weekly basis, and give you the opportunity to ask questions as well too, then you've got that every single week in level 1. If you like the whole idea of the one-to-one time with a mentor via Skype, via phone, or even face-to-face if you did want to, there are packages that allow you to do that. So Rockstar has always been about combining the success and the experiences of business entrepreneurs who have been there, done it, worn the t-shirt, but who are also then willing to work with businesses and want to do so because they desperately want you to be successful. Why do they do it? People ask all the time. Because for the first time in a long time, they've got time. And what they're looking to do is really give back to the entrepreneurs that are coming to Rockstar, seeking our guidance, because it tells us that you're serious about working with, about building your business, and they're the sort of people that we want to work with. So if you do want to move forward with this, I absolutely encourage you to speak to Alma, who's on this session now, to book your session with either her or one of the other mentoring managers. Alma runs the team. She's an amazing person, as is the whole team. And book a free session by clicking on one of the links here. It allows you to have a one-to-one session over the phone where you can tell us a bit more about your business, your goals, what you're looking to achieve. And then by telling us that, we can then talk to you about who would be the most relevant mentor for you to achieve those goals within the group and which package would be most relevant to you. It's completely free of charge. I think you should do it. You won't regret it. And guys, thank you so much for listening tonight. Hope you found it valuable and useful. Alma, back to you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jonathan. That's been really useful. And folks, really hope you enjoyed that. Jonathan shared some golden nuggets of information there. So I'm sure you've taken notes as well. And yes, I just wanted to add to what Jonathan said was if you are really interested to know how to grow your business to the next level, or if you have any particular challenges, or you're stuck, or you're looking for partnerships, or any of the other points that Jonathan has mentioned, or anything in addition, that is really what we're here for as mentoring managers. So feel free to get in touch with me directly, or anyone else of our team. You can find all the details on our website. And we would be more than happy to set aside half an hour to an hour to really understand the core challenges that you're going through at the moment, what you're particularly looking to achieve. And therefore, like Jonathan already mentioned, is once we've collected all that information, we are able to make a recommendation to the most appropriate mentor. So what a lot of people do is they also go to our website where they see all the mentors' profiles, and that's great. But because we know the mentors inside and out, we do have the ability to make a connection for you to the best possible mentor a lot faster. And that's why people choose to speak to us first as well. So yes, I just want to say thank you again, Jonathan, and we look forward to hearing from you guys, and all the best, and we'll see you next time. Take care.